Did the creation of Zoan devil fruits come from humans wanting to be like minks? Let's talk about it. Now, the question in today's video comes from someone who left a comment in one of my earlier videos named Exodus. They were awesome enough to interact with my video and even leave a question behind for me to answer, and I'm more than happy to do so. So in their question, they're asking if the creation of Zoan devil fruits came from humans desiring to be like minks, but not being too familiar with the mink tribe at this point in time in history. And they specifically are referring to primal minks, which I can assume means all animal type minks. Now, the reason why they're making that distinction is because we do know that Zoans include human fruits. So for example, we do know that Sengoku ate the Hito Hito no Mi model Buddha, but that's not actually what Exodus is asking in their question. However, I do want to touch on this later in the video. So getting back to Exodus's main question, I think the best way to understand what he's asking is we're going to have to go all the way back in history and understand the first world and the second world of One Piece to understand exactly where human desire came from and how that influenced the devil fruit creations that we have today. So before we jump into the murals, I think it's also important for us to understand Vegapunk's explanation for when he was talking about the creation of devil fruits themselves. You can pause the video right now to see what Vegapunk is saying directly, but I'm just going to do a quick Spark Notes version of it. But basically what Vegapunk is saying is that every devil fruit came from a human's desire for something. If they could be like this, or if they could do that, then that's exactly what a devil fruit is. It's the branching future of what a human wishes that they could evolve into. So with that explanation in mind, we can now look at the Harley text description of the first world in the mural, which basically describes the world as engulfed in flame with humans coming to their desire and the world being shrouded in internal flames and darkness where all chaos was ensuing. So based off of that translation, we can understand that the first world was an absolute disarray, which led humans to desire for a better world. You have to understand that in the modern day of One Piece, there are people that have wants and desires and wishes for sure, but because the world is in just such a collective amount of chaos that the people all in unison, their desires were so strong that it manifested into devil fruits, which happens at the start of the second world, where you can see in the Harley text here, it says the forest god sent forth demons, aka devil fruits. Now, I believe in one of Oda's original one-shots for One Piece Romance Dawn, it was either in the first edition or the second edition, he mentioned something called the illusion tree. So that's what we can imagine here as the forest god, the tree that bore the fruit for the devil fruits that absorbed all of that human desire. So there are probably points in time in the first world where humans wanted to be able to run really fast, because we've never seen like a running fast devil fruit, but you know, there are devil fruits that allow you to move faster in some sort of way. So yeah, we can imagine that there are probably humans that wanted to fly away using Pell's devil fruit or anything like that. So I can totally imagine that that's an inspiration, or especially if they see the minks, because at this point they weren't riding around on Zunisha, I believe, in the first world, so they would probably just be roaming the lands like normally. So it does make sense that yeah, humans would see animals walking around, walking and talking like them, and wishing they could be that, because you know, humans can still talk in their full animal form when they're Zoan. So it makes sense that they would see another Zoan and be like, I wish I could do that. I wish I could climb trees and get away from this hellfire that's engulfing the world right now. So while, yeah, it is possible that humans saw minks running around and they wanted to be like them, which led to the creation of some Zoan devil fruits, I do want to circle back to what I was saying in the beginning of the video, referring to the latter half of Exodus's question, referring to only primal animals. I do think that there is a possibility that the inverse happened, where there were animals who saw humans and desired to be like them, especially minks too, because you know, minks, they have a lot of fur and it's never been shown that they don't have pride for who they are. But when they see this large tribes of humans getting along and probably even ostracizing the minks, it might have led a lot of minks to desiring to be humans, to be integrating with them as well. And same thing for other intelligent animals in the One Piece world. For example, the Kung Fu Dugongs, they imitate humans. So who's to say that they didn't all collectively wish to be human? And that strong desire, of course, between minks and other intelligent animals would have led to the creation of the Hito Hito Nomi, the one that Chopper has. He doesn't have a specific model, it's just the human fruit. So, yeah, in that situation, I think that there were a lot of animals, maybe even minks or maybe even fishmen, who desired to just be human so that they can integrate into the human tribes who have specialty in numbers. Every other race is naturally stronger than humans in some sort of way, even Tontat is, but they just don't have the numbers. And because they have the numbers, they always end up ostracizing these other groups of people. And I just think that's an interesting thing to think about, which, I wouldn't have been able to think about if I never got asked the question. So once again, I thank you so much, Exodus, for asking me this question. And I'm just going to end the video here. I'm terrible at ending videos, but please, if any of you have any more questions, it's not even about One Piece, honestly. I watch all types of anime, Bleach, Naruto, whatever. I do appreciate all you guys asking me these questions, and I'm gonna be making more videos all throughout the week, all throughout the year, all throughout the lifetimes. So I do appreciate you guys. I'm gonna end the video here while I'm in the mushroom. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.